Hey, Alaska Reverend here. I had a request via PM to demonstrate how I put on my latex prosthetic for the Ormgar costume video. Request was made by someone in Italy, so if you see Italian subtitles, which I will attempt via my Mac translator, do not be surprised, and please forgive me if the grammar is completely bad. Anyway, here's the prosthetic here. It came in two pieces, the lower jaw and the upper jaw. You can see the seam going right there. I had to glue the two pieces together because they overlapped, and lacking remover, they are currently separated and they're currently joined and never to be separated. There's one modification I did make to it other than trimming, which I actually trimmed back fairly far to avoid my sideburns. I painted the inside of the mouth with black PAX paint. That's simply a mixture of 1 part Prosthetic adhesive to 1 part common acrylic paints like you'd find at the craft store. I did mine black. In the future, I'd probably do it either burgundy or pink, and probably going to go over the rest of it and do it in a dark brown. You might have noticed in the video that despite our best attempts with the makeup, we didn't exactly match the dark color of brown that we got with the rest of my costume. Alright, now what I'm going to be using to apply this is my Prosthetic adhesive. It's a latex emulsion that dries very hard and lasts for a good while. My run at Scarborough Fair was about 10 hours, and aside for some places where I didn't get it put on correctly around my lips, it held beautifully, despite high humidity and some sweating on my part. And I'm also going to use the liquid latex for blending around the edges. You can use it as the main adhesive, but it doesn't last very long, and in my experience about 5 minutes if you rush it, and generally the hold isn't quite as well. You may notice a little residue on the inside there on the lip portion. That's from having the liquid latex, because it actually builds onto the prosthetic. It's actually the same stuff this is made out of. Alright, and if you're wondering what cosmetics I use, I just went to Walmart and got some dark brown makeup. This is the Maybelline Dark Cocoa. Nowhere near as dark as you might think. If you've got a dark brown costume like mine, if you can find an ethnic makeup place and go there, that would probably be the ideal case. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get down to it. First step I'm going to do is take a color of my makeup, and I'm going to make a little line around my face with that. And that's what I'm going to use as the outline for my prosthetic. For that matter, do I have something better in there than brown? Eyeliner, that's much better. Alright, I'm going to use that instead. So, I'm going to do it by holding the prosthetic up to my face. It fits about like this. And putting my head in a neutral position, I'm going to trace around it and use that as my line for applying the adhesive. Alright, so the eyeliner back up. And pardon me if I'm not looking at the camera for a minute, I need to see in the mirror what I'm doing. Just go on around the whole thing. Normally, I'd be using the base coat for this, but since I'm not going to be applying the rest of the makeup later, I'm just going to use this so you can see it easier. Around my eyes, I'm going to fudge it a little bit, since I need to push the prosthetic ever so slightly down. So on my face, it's actually a little bit tall. Alright, so there I've got my completed line, and I can sort of guess where my inside edges for the top piece are going to be. Let's see. Just go from the little cranny. About in like that. I hope I'm not running out of this eyeliner already, because if I am, it means this only lasted me one application. And the lip portion stops right down here, and it might also be helpful to note that I've shaved my mustache for this. And just for reference, I'm going to make a little light mark where this stops contacting my nose. Okay, next step is to apply the prosthetic. I'm just going to put a little bit of it on my paper plate here. Alright. Just a little dab will do you for this stuff. It's pretty potent. I'm going to take a simple paintbrush and paint it around the edges of my prosthetic. Note how it's white like Elmer's glue at first, but it's going to dry clear and very, very tacky. I'm going to go ahead and go around the lip portion here, because since that shows black from the paint, that's going to be the easiest place for you to see it. There, like that. And a strip about like this on the edges, unless you're going for an area where you need a lot of contact, that's really all you gotta need. The one exception being if you have a hot foam prosthetic, which isn't hollow like this one is. This is the slush cast. In that case, it's going to be touching your face the whole way, and you want to give it a coat over the entire thing. Alright, so I'm going to keep going around in a circle, or around the border, I should say. So this seems a little ad-libbed at all. That's because it is. Alright, I've got the top part finished. Just go around the bottom. Now the one very, very important thing is that you never touch this around the edges with your fingers while you're putting the adhesive on. Because if you do that, you're going to get stuck to it in ways you did not want to be stuck.